My name is Carmen Bellows, co-founder of The Great Lesser Known, a website that illuminates lesser-known artists in Middle Tennessee. Today I have the great pleasure of speaking with Karen Johnston, Abstract Painter. Hello, Karen.
Hi.
I'm so glad to have this time with you.
Thanks for inviting me.
My first question to you is, where are you from? I think you came from Cincinnati, is that correct?
Yeah, I grew up in the Midwest. Moved around a couple places before we landed here, and we've been in Nashville for about 12 years.
And how do you like Nashville?
Love it. It was very easy to adjust to, and we're thrilled. We call it our home.
Very good. So, how did you become an artist? Is it something you started as a child, or did you kind of come into it as an adult? How did that start?
Definitely from childhood. My parents were both musicians, and so my family made their living in the arts. No one was a professional painter, but the arts were a profound influence in my life. So I was always involved in classes, in music, in dance, in theater, and traditional art, and so it's been with me for forever.
I understand that. So, how has your career developed?
I actually went to art school and majored in illustration. I started actually in graphic design and then switched into illustration. And then once I graduated, I kind of just shifted into fine arts and have never looked back. But I will say my fine arts work has shifted over the years and has grown with me and has taken different shapes and forms. So the last, I guess about 7.5 years, I've been doing abstract painting with acrylics, mixed media, and have just really fallen in love with that avenue and that technique.
You have beautiful work, and there's a lot of energy coming out of this. I was really enjoying just being in your studio doing this. So tell me about the techniques you employ for your art.
When I started painting, I honestly usually have no plan. I mean, I try intentionally to do that. I try to keep everything very free and very open, and so I start with the blank white canvas and just feel very free to put anything and everything on there. Just layer color, layer movement. When I start, I don't have a concept of where I'm going. I even often, if I'm working here in my studio, will let my kids enter in at that very first start. If they come in and say, can I paint? And I'm starting a new piece, and I'm like, yeah. This piece right here specifically was done with them doing that very first layer. And so, of course, they're drawn to the bright colors and threw on all of this energy. And then I go back into it and, make those choices of resolution as a painter and stuff. But I love that collaborative process where you work with other people's energies and, and make it work. But I just let the pieces evolve. I really kind of have developed that process of dialoguing with my work and listening to what the canvas is saying. Because I feel like when I go in too heavily and just constantly make decisions of this is what I want to see, it starts to lose some of its vitality. So I try to just stay very open and keep a good relationship with my work.
And how wonderful that your children get to be part of it. And that encourages them to appreciate the arts and perhaps maybe become an artist themselves someday. You never know. So my last question to you is, tell me about your mission. I know you have a mission, so tell me about that, or tell our audience about that.
I would love to see more art used in healthcare. Personally, my abstract work stemmed out of my own healing journey. I had cancer years ago, thyroid cancer, and my kids were young, and I just felt at that time my art needed a deeper and greater expression, and that's when I turned to this avenue. And it grew with me, and it was always such a wonderful addition to life to be able to have that outlet and that expressive place. And I have gained so much from it, and I've shared it with others. I've done workshops or taught, and even just being able to display the work in areas where it can start a conversation or people can relate to the emotion in it has been great. And I always think, you know, why isn't there more art in hospitals with adults? You know, it's wonderful for children. Children's Hospital is amazing. But often I'm in the hospitals with adults and I'm like, the walls are so clean and so sterile, or there's just not that vital energy. So, you know, all in all, I would love to just be more and more involved in that and see a greater movement in that, that area.
I really love that idea. I agree with you. I also work in the hospital system, and we need some more beauty in there, don't we?
Yeah.
And healing. Art does heal, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, Karen, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.